All right. Good morning, everyone. As always, we'll go over forward market outlook, go over some top ideas for the weekend. Coming to the weekend, we have a little gap up to start the week. As we always know, we want to avoid kind of chasing that Monday morning gap up. But right now, the key area to keep an eye on in the SPY is going to be this 444, 445 area that's been acting as resistance since kind of end of June here. So we're kind of in this little range bound market between this 444, 445 area of resistance and this 430 area of support. Again, in the short term, you can kind of see somewhat of like a head and shoulders pattern kind of forming here in the SPY after this major run up. So maybe, we do see some lower price action, in the short term, which would be somewhat expected. Almost you'd want that just so we can see the market almost kind of retest the prior break area of 420 and set us up for that next leg higher. But for now, just taking it day by day, and with this little gap up, maybe we see a run up into this 444 this week. Again, very similar with the NASDAQ names, the Qs, same mini kind of head and shoulders pattern forming these lower highs recently, and we have this major trend line that the Qs have been on, and this was the first time last week where it actually broke below it, which is a little bit of a red flag. And now the next time, if we were going to see a retest this 354 area, we're probably going to see some lower price action. That seems to be kind of the overall theme here. Again, same thing with tech. We're in this very clear breakdown stage. We haven't seen anything base out of this sector yet. Any of the big news obviously was the 10-year last week retesting its all-time high that we have not seen since last year and going all the way back to 2007. So when you start to see these these patterns, again, if you're looking at it as a stock, this would look like something we would want to buy through this breakout. Maybe not 5 months up, but this is definitely a bullish pattern for rates. Not what we want to really see, but nothing we can really change about that. Again, sector wise, energy seems to be the quiet leader that we're kind of all taking up a little more attention on lately. Some of them are posting some ideas like COP and XOM, which we'll get to in a minute. But energy seems to be the one sector right now that is flagging up pretty nicely. And we do have this macro breakout through this 130, 132 area in time, which looks great. So definitely keep an eye on energy. Most of the other sectors kind of seem to be this very similar theme with somewhat of like an H over into major support and just kind of basing out whether they're going to hold this area of support and push back up into the recent highs, or they're going to H over lower and break down through support, which time will tell with that one. Same thing with industrials, very similar little H pattern to support. Same thing with telecommunication stocks. Same thing with kind of the biotechs. Same thing with healthcare. Very repetitive theme here with a lot of these sectors just Hing over into support. So moving on to a couple of individual stocks. Again, this Wing, keep an eye on this for a support buyback. Again, very similar theme with a lot of the major sectors, just kind of Hing over into support. This could be a textbook bear flag, an easy short down through 160. I'm looking at a more of a long through 170. But again, it's kind of a coin flip with a lot of these sectors and stocks right now. If support's going to hold or if we see lower price action in the future. Another name I'm keeping an eye on is HSIC through this 7750 versus a 76. Just tight little consolidation right here. Near an area that it's had some breakouts in the past. A few others that are on the radar. We have this UFPI. Blue sky breakout through this 104, all-time high breakout, and still need some time to develop here, but very textbook bull flag. We have, let's see, this INCY, very textbook base break sitting up there 66. Again, the short term, probably going to see a shakeout below the 63, but if you get the little shakeout and that turn back up through 66, could be a nice little base breakout sitting up there. Another one would be the CTAS. It's been sitting out for a little bit of time now through this 500. Again, wouldn't be looking to really chase it today if it's going to gap and go, but one to keep on the radar. And last but not least, this BRSK through 238, another blue sky breakout. Very strong name. Surprisingly in the tech space, it's at all-time highs when tech names been somewhat pretty weak lately. So if tech does catch a bid, it's probably the first thing I'd expect to see some higher prices in. So definitely keeping a close eye on this. Again, about $2 risk buying through 238 versus Thursday's low. A couple names that Shake was keeping on. We have this CVNA, which again, probably one of the craziest car names. Penny stock earlier this year, up nearly 1,000% since then. Hopefully the car trade is back on. You can see the little flag here forming those 42. GKOS, another name, textbook little flag forming here. Looking through a move to that 75, 76 area. Again, we highlighted before energy being one of the sectors that has been somewhat strong lately. So you have this little kind of sneaky buyback in this XLM through this 109. We have this POWL, textbook little earnings flag forming here. It depends on when if you're looking to buy through this, 85, or if you look at the downtrend break through this 83, very strong here. Looks very good. RYTM, another one very similar. Big earnings reactions, nice earnings flags forming. And again, same thing, either you're looking to buy through 26 or you're waiting for this kind of downtrend break through that 26 half area. Team, again, another tech name that's been somewhat strong given tech's overall price action lately. Setting up for this move to this 195, 200 area. If it looks very good. Yeti, we've been watching for God knows how long, but looks great to this 48. Still pretty wide, about 10% risk versus the real pivot. But this looks, been basing out, flagging out here for the whole year pretty much. So we give it a few more weeks now. We get a little bit tighter of an out for instead of this 44, we get a more defined out. Or you can risk maybe $2 in this name. I think this through 48 looks really good. We got this Google. Tight little flag here. Still probably need a little bit more time. Still a little wide, but looks good. And again, Shake's big focus is Tesla here. For this, 243, 240 area versus 226. Definitely look pretty good on that one. And again, we had a lot of member ideas this morning. Posting in the chat, which is good to see. We have this Amazon setting up. Again, might need a little bit more time to develop. Again, we had monstrous move lately, so we need a little bit more of a definite setup. But this 136 area seems to be the spot for now. Again, Visa and MasterCard, which are kind of like brother and sister names. Trading somewhat of lockstep. This will be, pretty much a climb back to the retest for Visa. Break out to that 252 area. MasterCard through all-time highs already or very close to it. So this would probably be the one I focus more on since it's already past its all-time highs. So this MasterCard definitely leading over Visa, but again, it's very extended in the short term, $15 or $13 off support. So let it consolidate a little bit before, that one's really ready to go. It's Allergen, ALGN through 368. Looking pretty good. Let's see, we got this. AAP probably needs a little bit of time here to develop a little bit, somewhat of a Mickey Mouse flag. COP, Energy, and again, like XOM, they've been very strong lately. To this 118, I think it looks great. Again, you have some overhead resistance, but the energy sector has been very strong lately compared to all the other sectors. So definitely an area we want to focus on. CNQ, again, another energy name through this 62 area. Again, looks, as good as a chart can look. Again, this probably you have the move from 62 back to that retest to 70. So you have some overhead resistance, but been setting up more than a year now. Flagging under 62, so this looks great. Verse 60, and last but not least, this AVT through this 50 area versus 48. This looks phenomenal. I think Alex called this out. Blue Sky Breakout hasn't taken this level out in almost a decade. It's a huge, huge level here. It's probably the you know, best one mentioned so far. Definitely keep some alerts set for this one. This one looks really great. $2 risk on a decade plus setup. Definitely can't miss this one. So if you guys have any other names you guys want to go over, definitely can post them in this little meeting. We can go from now. And if not, we definitely have plenty of names to keep an eye on for the week ahead. All right. All right, guys, I'm gonna post this watch list in the chat because there was quite a few names we went over today and some really good setups. Again, this AVT looks phenomenal. So let's focus on the best names and have a good week.